Hello, welcome to Science Shop. Today we're going to be talking about organ systems. Now, there are 11 organ systems in the human body, but depending on which curriculum you're being taught, you're not going to have to know all of them. I've color coordinated it. The first 6 are done in white, and these ones are directly going to be taught to my students, and indirectly we're going to look at 3 others as well, so I'm going to cover all of these. There's 2 down here in blue, the reproductive and the endocrine. Now I'll cover this in this video, but if you are one of my students, you don't have to worry about that bit down there. Although if you want to, stick till the end of the video. Okay, now an organ system is just a set of organs that carry out one specific function. That bit's quite easy to get in your head, and it's quite easy to learn all of these. The trick is to figure out the functions of these, and also to figure out how each of these maintains homeostasis. Now, if you've forgotten, homeostasis is the maintenance of a constant internal environment. So look at each of these just now. We've got the muscular system, and the muscular system is all about movement. If something moves, there's a muscle cell that moves it. Okay? How it regulates, how it maintains homeostasis is by regulating temperature. For example, if you get too cold, your muscles start to shiver, generating heat. And this is part of temperature regulation, so that's how it maintains homeostasis. So here, muscular system, it allows body movement and it regulates temperature. Okay? Skeletal system, now this is all of the bones in your body that make up the skeleton, the frame. Skeletal system, I'll do a separate video on this, but how does it maintain homeostasis? Well, what it does is it stores minerals and it produces red blood cells. So if your body is low of minerals, it comes out of the bones. And of course, you know, red blood cells is needed to carry oxygen. So that's how it maintains homeostasis. That's a skeletal system. Okay? Circulatory system is also known as the cardiovascular system. It's all to do with the heart and the veins and the arteries and the blood vessels. Okay? Now, it's very obvious how this maintains homeostasis. It pumps blood around, and blood contains things like hormones, oxygen, carbon dioxide, all that good stuff is being traveled around the body because of the circulatory system. Respiratory system, that's your lungs, and gas exchange happens. So you take in oxygen, I hit myself there. I'm not going to edit that out, I'm going to leave it in. And you get rid of carbon dioxide, okay? And the oxygen that it receives, it gives it to the blood, so then the circulatory system works its magic and delivers it to every cell in the body. So these two work together very well. Then we've got the nervous system. Now, in case you don't know, the nervous system is basically your brain, your spinal cord, and all of the nerves that flow down your hands, down to your feet, and everywhere in between. It allows us to sense things. So the way it maintains homeostasis is, for example, if I put my hand on something hot, it detects that heat, and it allows the muscular system to move it away. Okay, so it's working in conjunction with the muscular system, and also the integumentary system, because that's the skin contains some of these nerve endings. Okay, so the function of this is to allow the body to sense things, to detect things. Okay, the digestive system, what it does is it breaks food down from big molecules into small molecules, and it absorbs it into the bloodstream. So the way it maintains homeostasis is by regulating blood sugar levels. Okay, there's an organ in there called the pancreas, which contains insulin and glucagon. So it produces them. Okay. Then we've got the integumentary system. It's a long word, but you need to know it. Integumentary. This is the skin. Okay, so all of that skin. I'll do a separate video on that later. because the skin is quite a detailed kind of topic. But the way it maintains homeostasis is by regulating temperature. So when you get really hot, you can see the skin gets really red. And that's because the blood vessels sort of dilate near the surface of the skin, and that means they swell up, they get a little bit bigger on the surface, and your skin glows red. And if you put your hand near someone's red face, you can feel the heat coming off. So when you're hot, this allows heat to escape through your skin. The opposite happens when you're really cold. The blood vessels constrict, meaning they get narrower, and blood flows deeper within the surface of the skin. So that's how the integumentary system helps maintain homeostasis. The urinary system, now this is basically the kidneys and the bladder, and it helps get rid of waste. And the way it maintains homeostasis is by maintaining the water-salt balance as well as the acid-base balance. So if you have, and this actually leads me on to something else, just a cautionary thing. If you have lots and lots and lots of salt in your diet, it damages your kidneys. And you need your kidneys, they're important. Okay? So that's the urinary system. It helps maintain the water-salt balance. Okay? Then we've got the lymphatic system. Now, the lymphatic system, what it does, it helps drain body fluids. Okay, I'll do a separate video on this because, again, it's kind of a little bit complex if you're not used to it. But it helps maintain fluid levels and it fights infection. Okay, so that's how the lymphatic system maintains homeostasis. What else do we have? The reproductive system. Now, the reproductive system is basically geared towards providing optimal conditions for fertility. So where your reproductive parts are, those things need to be regulated. So what kinds of things are we talking about? Well, in the case of women, we're talking about pH. And in the case of boys, we're talking about temperature of the testes. Okay, these need to be balanced very, very strictly, otherwise there's going to be damage. And this is why I always say to boys not to go to the sauna, because if you go to the sauna, you're increasing the temperature of parts where you don't want the temperature to increase, and it kills sperm. It's not good, all right? So that's the reproductive system. And then there's the endocrine system. Now, the endocrine system is responsible for producing hormones, and therefore it has a role in maintaining hormone levels. Hormones are chemical messengers which are carried in your bloodstream, and they affect cellular activity. Okay, so it's a chemical that changes the way your body behaves, essentially. Okay, so how this maintains homeostasis is by maintaining hormone levels. Okay, that's it. All you've got to do, if you're in my class, learn the first 6, and we'll learn the details about those ones a little bit later. Okay, if you're somewhere else and you want to learn all 11, this is all 11, and hopefully at some stage I'll do separate videos going into detail into each of these. But I hope that makes a lot of sense. If not, drop a comment below and I'll try and make another video trying to clarify a particular part for you. Okay? Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.